In this section of the CompTIA PenTest Plus PT0-003 certification course, we'll be diving into Objective 5.4, which focuses on explaining cleanup and restoration activities. These are critical tasks in the penetration testing process that ensure the integrity, security, and functionality of the systems after testing. Cleanup involves removing any tools, exploits, or changes that were introduced during the test to maintain the original state of the target environment. Restoration activities are geared towards returning the system to its normal operations, ensuring that all functionalities are restored, and confirming that no residual effects from the penetration test affect system performance. Understanding these activities is essential to mitigate any risks of disruptions and maintain the trust and cooperation of the client. Now, let's proceed to discuss the specific steps and best practices involved in effective cleanup and restoration.
In this segment, we're diving into the cleanup and restoration activities that are critical in any penetration testing engagement. These activities are vital to ensure that all changes made during the testing process are reverted and that the target environment is returned to its original state. Proper cleanup and restoration also help in maintaining trust and ensuring the integrity of the systems being tested. We will explore various tasks, such as removing any persistence mechanisms that could allow an attacker re-entry, reverting configuration changes that were made during testing, and eliminating any credentials that were created by testers. Additionally, we will discuss the importance of removing any tools that were deployed and spinning down any infrastructure that was stood up specifically for testing purposes. Moreover, preserving artifacts appropriately is essential for documentation and future reference. Finally, we'll address secure data destruction to ensure that any sensitive data accessed or created during the testing is securely erased. Let's move forward and delve into the specifics of each activity.
In this section, we'll focus on the key activities involved in the cleanup and restoration phase of your penetration testing process. First, removing persistence mechanisms is critical. These are backdoors or methods that could allow an attacker to re-enter the system. Ensure all implants and persistence methods are completely eradicated. Next, revert any configuration changes you made during testing. This ensures the system returns to its original, secure state and that no altered settings could introduce vulnerabilities. It's also crucial to remove any tester-created credentials. This step is vital to prevent unauthorized access using temporary accounts or credentials created during the pen test. Don't forget to remove any tools you deployed. Leaving testing tools behind can pose a significant security risk. Spinning down any infrastructure you've used is also necessary to avoid unnecessary costs and potential security issues. This might involve decommissioning virtual machines or other resources utilized during testing. Additionally, preserving artifacts from the testing process is essential. These artifacts can include logs, reports, or records that may be needed for future reference or audits. Lastly, ensure secure data destruction. Any sensitive data used during the testing must be securely deleted to prevent potential leaks. By following these steps, you'll ensure a thorough cleanup and a secure environment post-testing.
Now that we have an overview of the cleanup and restoration activities, let's delve deeper into each of these steps, starting with removing persistence mechanisms. Persistence mechanisms are techniques that attackers use to maintain access to compromised systems even after reboots or other interruptions. As penetration testers, it's crucial to identify and remove these mechanisms to ensure the target environment is restored to its original state and remains secure against future exploitation. In our next segment, we'll discuss various types of persistence mechanisms, how to detect them, and the best practices for removing them effectively. In this part of the CompTIA PenTest Plus PT0-003 certification course, we'll be focusing on the crucial step of removing persistence mechanisms used by attackers. Persistence mechanisms are methods that attackers use to maintain their access to a compromised system, even after reboots or other disruptions. Understanding and removing these mechanisms is vital to ensure the integrity and security of your systems post-incident. We'll explore various examples, such as scheduled tasks, startup items, and registry keys, and provide you with the tools and knowledge to effectively identify and eliminate them, restoring your network to its secure state.
Persistence mechanisms are methods attackers use to maintain access to a compromised system over an extended period. These mechanisms ensure that the attacker can regain access even after reboots or other system changes. Some common examples of persistence mechanisms include scheduled tasks. Attackers can create scheduled tasks to run malicious code at specific times or intervals, ensuring their activities are regularly executed. Startup items. By placing malware in the startup folders or modifying startup scripts, the attacker can ensure that their code runs every time the system boots up. Registry keys. Attackers can manipulate the system's registry to execute their code at startup or when specific events occur. Understanding these methods is crucial for identifying and removing persistence mechanisms, thus breaking the attacker's continuous control over the compromised system.
Now, let's focus on how to remove scheduled tasks, which are commonly used persistence mechanisms. On this slide, you can see an example of a command used to delete a scheduled task in Windows. The command task/delete-tn malicious task/f is designed to remove a scheduled task named malicious task. Here's a brief breakdown of the command. A task is the command line tool used to manage scheduled tasks. Delete specifies that you want to delete an existing task. TN stands for task name, followed by the name of the task you wish to remove, in this case, malicious task. /f forces the deletion of the task without any confirmation prompt. This command is essential for cleanup during a penetration test to remove any potentially malicious scheduled tasks that might have been set up to maintain access. Now that we've discussed how to remove a scheduled task using the tasks/delete-tn malicious task/f command, let's move on to our next question. To verify scheduled tasks on a Windows system, you'll need to know the appropriate command. This is essential for identifying and subsequently removing persistent mechanisms that an attacker might have set up. So, what Windows command can be used to view currently scheduled tasks?
The current slide focuses on the concept of removing persistence mechanisms within the context of penetration testing. A key aspect of this task involves identifying and eliminating any backdoor access points that an attacker might have established. To start off, consider that malicious actors often schedule tasks in Windows to maintain persistence. Recognizing these scheduled tasks can be crucial in mitigating ongoing threats. One of the primary Windows commands you can use to view currently scheduled tasks is tasks/query. This command lists all the scheduled tasks on a Windows system, providing insight into potentially malicious activities that could be automated to maintain persistence. Understanding and executing this command is essential for security professionals aiming to secure environments against persistent threats. In the previous lesson, we began discussing the various persistence mechanisms that adversaries might use to maintain access to a compromised system. Now, we'll delve deeper into the methods to effectively remove these mechanisms. First and foremost, it's crucial to identify all the persistence mechanisms that have been put into place. This involves a thorough examination of startup items, scheduled tasks, registry keys, and any other potential entry points that might allow the attacker to regain access to the system. Once identified, each of these items must be meticulously removed. This means going into the system settings, task scheduler, and registry to delete any traces that could be leveraged by the attacker. Finally, validation is key. After you believe you've removed all persistence mechanisms, you need to verify that there are no remaining access paths that could be exploited. This might involve running scans, monitoring system behavior, and ensuring that the system returns to its baseline state without unexpected disruptions. By carefully following these steps, you can more confidently ensure that the attacker has been entirely eradicated from the system, minimizing the risk of future compromise via previously established persistence mechanisms.
Let's dive deeper into the detailed steps required to effectively remove persistence mechanisms in a compromised system. First, we need to identify persistence mechanisms being used. This involves detecting any startup items, scheduled tasks, registry keys, or other components that an attacker might use to maintain access to the system.
Second, once these mechanisms are identified, we should proceed to remove them. This means eliminating any unauthorized startup items, scheduled tasks, and cleaning up related registry keys or scripts that facilitate persistent access. Finally, after removal, it's critical to validate and ensure that no residual or hidden access paths remain. This involves thorough verification to confirm that the system no longer contains any remnants that could allow re-entry or continued unauthorized access by the attacker. By following these detailed steps, we can ensure that the system is secure from ongoing threats and that any persistence mechanisms used by attackers are completely eradicated.
Moving on to our current slide, we delve into an example of how to view registry keys as part of removing persistence mechanisms. One effective command you can use is regquery. This command allows you to inspect various registry keys that may contain startup items or other persistence mechanisms. Specifically, we're looking at the key 8KCU, software, Microsoft, Windows current version run. By querying this registry path, you can identify any entries that execute upon user login, which could potentially be used by malware to maintain persistence on the system. This is a crucial step in ensuring that no unwanted or malicious software can continuously re-establish itself after removal. Always ensure you verify these entries to determine their legitimacy and take appropriate action to remove any unauthorized items.
Now, let's dive into an interactive exercise. We will list common locations where persistence mechanisms are typically found. Persistence mechanisms can exist in various areas within an operating system. For example, they might be added to the registry keys, startup folders, scheduled tasks, or services. These locations are often used because they provide a reliable way for malware or other unwanted software to execute upon system boot or user login. By identifying these locations, we can better locate and remove unwanted persistence mechanisms. Take a moment to think about other areas where persistence mechanisms might hide and list them down.
In this slide, we will dive into an interactive exercise aimed at identifying common locations where persistence mechanisms can often be found. As you may already know, persistence mechanisms are used by attackers to maintain access to a system after initial compromise. It's essential to know where these mechanisms are typically located to effectively remove them. These locations can range from startup folders to scheduled tasks, registry keys, and even more obscure system settings. Understanding these common places will enhance your ability to ensure the system is clean and secure. Now let's list these common locations as part of our exercise: startup locations, scheduled tasks, and registry keys. Take a moment to think about other places where you might look for persistence mechanisms and jot them down for our discussion.
Reverting configuration changes is a crucial step in the post-testing phase when working towards your CompTIA PenTest PT0-003 certification. Now that we've discussed removing persistence mechanisms, let's dive into the specifics of reverting configuration changes. Ensuring configurations are reverted correctly is vital to restore systems to their original state. Whether these changes were made intentionally as part of your testing process or occurred inadvertently, every modification needs attention. The goal here is to leave no trace of the testing activities by updating configurations and removing any test artifacts. This practice guarantees that the system's security posture remains uncompromised and functional, avoiding potential vulnerabilities that could be exploited in the future.
In this section, we're focusing on what needs to be reverted to restore systems to their original state. After performing penetration testing, it's crucial to revert any changes or modifications made during the testing process. This includes undoing configurations or removing artifacts that were introduced. By doing so, we ensure that the systems return to their pre-test conditions, maintaining stability and security. This step is vital for preserving operational integrity and preventing potential vulnerabilities from lingering post-assessment. In this section, we focus on how to practically revert configuration changes after testing. Let's consider an example using system commands to restore the original configuration of a service. First, you would stop the service that you modified during your tests. To do this, you can use the command systemcdl stop your service. Next, you may also need to disable this service to ensure it does not start automatically in future system reboots. This can be achieved with the command systemctl disable your service. These commands help in ensuring that the system is returned to its original state, removing any artifacts or changes made during the testing phase.
Here we have an important quote to reinforce our previous discussion on reverting configuration changes. Configuration changes should always be documented to facilitate easy reversion. This emphasizes the significance of maintaining a detailed record of any alterations you make during your penetration testing activities. Proper documentation ensures that you can efficiently revert systems to their original state, minimizing disruptions and maintaining operational integrity.
In this section, we'll focus on the importance of reverting configuration changes made during your penetration testing process. According to best practices, and as highlighted by our quote, configuration changes should always be documented to facilitate easy reversion. This is crucial because any modifications you make should be traceable, ensuring that the system can be returned to its original state accurately. You need to meticulously document every change to avoid system instability or security risks post-testing. Proper documentation not only helps in maintaining the integrity of the system, but also aids in troubleshooting issues that might arise later. Now, let's delve into how these documented changes play a crucial role in the overall security posture of the enterprise.
In this module, we'll discuss the importance of removing tester-created credentials after a penetration test. When conducting a pen test, it's often necessary to create temporary credentials to simulate an insider threat or to access certain systems. However, failing to remove these credentials after the testing is complete can lead to unauthorized access and potential security breaches. We'll go through the steps to identify and securely remove any accounts, permissions, or passwords that were created during the testing process. This is a crucial part of reverting any configuration changes and ensuring that the environment is returned to its original state, securing the system from any unintended vulnerabilities. The removal of tester-created credentials is crucial for maintaining security after completing a penetration test. This step ensures that any accounts created for testing purposes are eliminated, preventing unauthorized access to the system in the future. By removing these credentials, you can ensure that there are no leftover test accounts that could potentially be exploited by malicious actors. This practice contributes to the overall integrity and security of the target environment post-assessment. Now let's take a look at how you can actually remove a user account in a Linux environment.
When conducting penetration testing, it's critical to ensure all tester-created credentials are removed to prevent unauthorized access once the testing concludes. This slide provides an example of how to remove a user account on a Linux system using the command userdel PenTest user. By executing this command, you effectively delete the user named PenTest user, thereby eliminating any potential backdoors or unauthorized access points left from the testing phase. This step helps maintain the security integrity of the system after the penetration test.
To remove a tester-created user account in a Windows environment, you can use the command bash net user pentestuser/delete. When you're conducting penetration tests, it's a common practice to create temporary user accounts. These accounts are utilized for various testing procedures, but can pose a security risk if left unattended. By using the net user command with the /delete option, you ensure that these tester-specific accounts are removed from the system, thereby reducing the potential for unauthorized access and maintaining the integrity of your security posture. When conducting penetration testing, removing any tester-created credentials immediately after completing your tests is paramount. Leaving these credentials in place can pose significant security risks because they might be exploited by malicious actors if discovered. Ensuring the removal of these credentials helps maintain the integrity of the systems tested and prevents unintended access. Ask yourself, why is it critical to remove test credentials immediately after testing? The answer lies in preventing unauthorized access, protecting the organization's data, and maintaining the overall security posture of the environment. This practice ensures that any doors you open during testing are securely closed, leaving no room for potential exploitation.
Removing tester-created credentials immediately after testing is crucial for several reasons. Firstly, it helps in maintaining the security of the system. If these credentials remain active, there's a risk they can be exploited by malicious actors. Additionally, having unused or unnecessary credentials can clutter the system, making it harder to manage and secure. Furthermore, removing these credentials ensures compliance with security policies and relevant regulations, which often require that temporary or test credentials be deactivated after their intended use. This practice also aids in maintaining an audit trail that is clear and accurate, which is essential for any post-testing analysis or forensic investigations. In summary, immediate removal of tester-created credentials is a best practice that enhances system security, ensures policy compliance, and maintains overall system hygiene.
In penetration testing, it's crucial to ensure that you leave the environment as untouched as possible after your assessments. One important step is to remove any tools you may have used during the testing process. This includes specialized software, scripts, and any other utilities you introduced into the target environment. When you conclude your testing activities, carefully go through all the systems you've interacted with and make sure to completely delete all these tools. Leaving them behind can not only clutter the environment, but potentially pose security risks or operational issues for the organization you're testing. This step maintains professionalism and ensures the environment remains clean and secure post-assessment, reinforcing the trust and reliability that the client places in you as a penetration tester.
In this section, we'll focus on the crucial step of removing any penetration testing tools and scripts after an assessment. This process is essential to ensure that no residual artifacts from the testing remain on the system. Deleting these tools not only helps maintain system integrity, but also prevents any unauthorized usage or potential security risks that could result from leaving these scripts and tools behind.
In this section, we'll look at a practical example of how to remove penetration testing tools from your environment. It's crucial to ensure that all tools and scripts used during testing are deleted to prevent any unauthorized access or misuse after the testing is complete. Here's a command example to remove tools. Bash rm-rf path to tools/. This command forcefully deletes the specified directory and all its contents. Be sure to replace /path to tools/ with the actual path to the tools you want to remove. Always double-check the path you are targeting to avoid deleting unintended files or directories. It's important to follow rigorous cleanup procedures and to verify that no residual files or configurations remain that could compromise the security of the environment after testing is concluded. When working towards the CompTIA PenTest Plus PT0-003 certification, it's essential to understand how to properly remove tools from your systems, especially after conducting a penetration test. As indicated on this slide, we need to inspect system paths and directories commonly used for tool storage. This ensures that no residual files or tools remain that could be potentially reused by unauthorized individuals or simply consume valuable disk space. Always double-check these locations to maintain a clean and secure environment.
In this slide, we're focusing on the critical step of removing tools once your penetration testing activities are complete. This process involves carefully inspecting system paths and directories commonly used for tool storage to ensure that all tools utilized during the penetration test are completely removed. This step is crucial for maintaining the integrity and security of the system post-assessment. It not only helps in preventing potential security risks that could arise from leftover tools, but also ensures that the environment is restored to its original state. Be diligent in your inspection and removal processes to uphold best practices in your penetration testing routine. In this section, we're going to discuss the importance of spinning down infrastructure as part of the PenTest Plus PT0-003 certification criteria. Spinning down infrastructure is a crucial step to ensure that after performing your penetration testing activities, you properly deactivate any temporary environments you have set up. This process not only frees up resources, but also helps in reducing costs and mitigating potential security risks. Many organizations utilize virtual machines, containers, and various cloud instances to conduct penetration tests. It's essential to decommission these resources once the tests are complete to avoid unnecessary expenses and reduce your environmental footprint. In our next slide, we'll dive deeper into the specifics of properly tearing down your infrastructure.
In this segment of our course, we delve into the crucial process of properly tearing down infrastructure. After completing your pen testing activities, it's imperative to decommission virtual machines, containers, and cloud instances. This step ensures that you eliminate any unnecessary costs associated with running these environments past their useful period. Properly spinning down infrastructure is not just a best practice, but a necessary action to maintain an efficient and cost-effective operational environment. Let's explore the specific commands and methods for decommissioning these resources in our upcoming discussions. On this slide, we focus on the specific command example for decommissioning virtual machines using Amazon Web Services, AWS. The command shown here is AWS EC2 terminate instances at instance IDs I12345678990ABC-F0. This command will terminate the specified Amazon EC2 instance. It's critical to properly decommission VMs to avoid incurring unnecessary costs. In this example, the cheshed instance IDs flag specifies the instance that you want to terminate by its unique ID. Executing this command ensures that the specified instance will be stopped and removed from your AWS environment. Properly managing and tearing down your infrastructure in this manner is an essential skill for effective and cost-efficient penetration testing.
Now let's look at stopping Docker containers. This is a key step when spinning down infrastructure to ensure that no unnecessary resources are running and incurring costs. The example commands provided are docker stop, docker PSA-Q. This command will stop all running Docker containers by identifying the container IDs using docker PSQ. Next, we have docker RM, docker PSAQ. This will remove all stopped containers, again filtering by container IDs obtained from docker PS-A-Q. By using these commands, you effectively clear out all current Docker activities, ensuring that your environment is clean before decommissioning or switching off resources.
On this slide, we want to delve into the critical concept of spinning down infrastructure, specifically addressing a key discussion question: what could be the consequences of failing to spin down infrastructure? Failing to spin down infrastructure can lead to numerous issues. One major consequence is the unnecessary consumption of resources. This includes compute power, storage, and network bandwidth, all of which can rack up significant operational costs over time. Not spinning down environments when they are no longer required can also lead to security risks. Unused or forgotten resources might not be updated or monitored, creating potential vulnerabilities that attackers could exploit. This oversight can compromise sensitive data and the overall integrity of your systems. Operational inefficiencies are another repercussion. Idle or zombie instances can clutter your management dashboards, making it difficult to track and manage active resources effectively. This can slow down incident response times and complicate troubleshooting efforts. As a part of your learning, it's crucial to understand these potential pitfalls and exercise good operational hygiene by ensuring that your infrastructure is properly spun down when not in use. This not only optimizes resource utilization, but also strengthens the security posture and operational efficiency of your organization. Now let's talk about the importance of spinning down infrastructure after a penetration test. Failing to spin down infrastructure can lead to several serious consequences. First, it can result in unnecessary costs as resources continue to run without serving any productive purpose. This is particularly critical in cloud environments where resource usage directly impacts billing. Second, leaving infrastructure running can expose the organization to potential security risks. Unattended systems can become targets for attackers, especially if they contain vulnerabilities that were identified during the testing process. This could lead to real-world exploits, compromising the organization's security posture. Additionally, not spinning down infrastructure can cause compliance issues. Many regulations require strict control and management of environmental resources, and failing to decommission unnecessary systems can result in noncompliance, leading to fines or other penalties. Lastly, it can lead to a cluttered and disorganized environment, making it more challenging to manage and secure essential systems. A clean, well-maintained infrastructure is easier to monitor and defend. So, always ensure you have a robust procedure for spinning down infrastructure post-testing to avoid these potential pitfalls.
To continue our discussion on the CompTIA PenTest Plus PT0-003 certification course, let's focus on the essential practice of preserving artifacts. The preservation of artifacts is a critical step following the completion of a penetration test. Artifacts, which include logs, captured data, and other relevant information generated during the penetration test, must be carefully preserved. Preserving these artifacts is not just a best practice, but often a requirement for legal, compliance, and reporting reasons. Proper documentation and storage of these materials ensure that you have a verifiable and trustworthy record of the activities performed. This helps substantiate the findings and can be crucial if the results are ever questioned or need to be reviewed for future analysis. In summary, preserving artifacts is imperative for maintaining the integrity of your penetration testing process, supporting legal and compliance requirements, and ensuring that all evidence is available for any necessary future examinations.
Preserving artifacts is crucial for several reasons, encompassing legal, compliance, and reporting requirements, as well as for future analysis and evidence. Each piece of data or evidence collected during a penetration test can be critical for building a comprehensive understanding of security vulnerabilities and ensuring that all actions can be traced and verified. This helps maintain the integrity of the testing process and supports any necessary legal or compliance needs, providing a clear, documented trail of the activities and findings. Ensuring that we have all pertinent data preserved can also be essential for retrospective analysis, allowing us to delve deeper into any issues discovered and potentially uncovering further insights down the line.
Artifacts preservation is critical in penetration testing, not just for legal and compliance reasons, but also for future analysis and evidence. On this slide, we're focusing on specific examples of artifacts you should preserve during and after your assessments. Firstly, logs are a primary type of artifact. These can include system logs, application logs, and security logs. They provide a detailed account of events and actions that occurred on the network or system. Secondly, reports generated from your penetration testing activities are essential artifacts. Reports consolidate findings, illustrate vulnerabilities, their impact, and often include recommendations for remediation. Lastly, captured traffic refers to network packets that have been recorded during the testing. This data is invaluable for analyzing communication patterns, identifying security breaches, and helping to understand any suspicious activities. By preserving these artifacts, you ensure that you have a comprehensive, verifiable record of your testing activities, which is crucial for both operational and compliance purposes. On this slide, we continue to explore the concept of preserving artifacts, specifically focusing on a practical command example for collecting system logs in a Linux environment. To archive your system logs, you can use the tar command. The exact command is tar-cvflogs.tar varlog/. What this does is, tar is the utility used to create archive files. -c stands for create a new archive. -v provides verbose output, showing the progress in the terminal. -z tells tar to compress the archive using gzip. Specifies the file name of the resulting archive. /var-log/ is the directory containing the logs you want to preserve. By executing this command, you're able to collect and compress your system logs into a single .tar.gz file, ensuring that critical information is archived in an organized and efficient manner. This practice is essential for later analysis and maintaining the integrity of your forensic investigation.
Now let's focus on discussing best practices for securely storing artifacts. Safeguarding collected data is crucial, especially in penetration testing, to maintain the integrity and confidentiality of the evidence. This involves using encryption, ensuring proper access controls, and maintaining a clear and secure chain of custody. By employing these best practices, we can ensure that all artifacts are preserved without tampering and are readily available for analysis or reporting as needed.
Now that we've discussed the best practices for storing artifacts securely, Let's shift our focus specifically to preserving these artifacts in the context of the CompTIA PenTest Plus PT0-003 certification course. Proper preservation of artifacts is essential for ensuring the integrity and reliability of collected data. This means maintaining the original state of the evidence to prevent any tampering or degradation. Utilizing write once, read many storage solutions can help achieve this by making sure that data, once written, cannot be altered or deleted. Additionally, employing cryptographic methods such as hashing provides a way to verify the integrity of the artifacts over time. By creating and securely storing hash values, you can later compare these to the stored artifacts' hashes to detect any unauthorized changes. Moreover, implementing strict access controls will protect against unauthorized access or modification. Only individuals who absolutely need access should be granted permissions, and all access should be logged for auditing purposes. Regular reviews of both access logs and the artifacts themselves ensure ongoing security and compliance with best practices. By following these measures, you can maintain the reliability and legal defensibility of your artifacts, supporting your ongoing cybersecurity efforts effectively.
In this segment, we will focus on secure data destruction as part of the CompTIA PenTest Plus PT0-003 certification course. Secure data destruction is a critical practice within cybersecurity, aimed at ensuring that sensitive and confidential information is completely and irretrievably eliminated from storage media. This process not only helps in mitigating potential data breaches, but also ensures that organizations comply with relevant privacy regulations and policies. Proper techniques need to be employed to guarantee that data cannot be reconstructed or accessed by unauthorized entities. Let's delve into why secure data destruction holds such importance and the methods to effectively implement it.
In this slide, we will focus on the importance of secure data destruction. Firstly, secure data destruction is critical in preventing data leakage. When data is not properly destroyed, it can be recovered by unauthorized individuals, leading to potential security breaches. Secondly, compliance with privacy policies is another crucial reason for secure data destruction. Organizations are often required to adhere to various privacy regulations that mandate the proper disposal of sensitive information. Failing to destroy data securely can result in legal penalties and damage to the organization's reputation. Understanding these key points emphasizes why secure data destruction is a fundamental practice in maintaining both security and compliance standards.
Now, let's explore common methods for secure data deletion. Firstly, file overwriting is a widely used approach where data is replaced with random characters or patterns multiple times, making recovery challenging. Another effective method is encryption before deletion. By encrypting the data before deletion, you ensure that even if some fragments remain, they are indecipherable without the corresponding encryption key. These methods help to ensure that sensitive data is irretrievable, aligning with privacy policies and preventing data leakage.
Here we have an example of the shred command in Linux, which is used for secure data destruction. The command provided here, shred-u//path/file, performs several critical tasks. First, the shred command overwrites the file's contents to make it more difficult to recover. The U option tells shred to remove the file after overwriting. The -z option adds an extra step by writing zeros to the file to hide the shredding process. This makes it extremely difficult for any data recovery tools to retrieve the original data. In conclusion, using the shred command with these options is an effective way to ensure secure deletion of sensitive files in a Linux environment.
Now, turning our attention to Windows operating systems, secure data destruction can be achieved using the sdelete command. Sdelete is a powerful tool provided by sysinternals that allows you to securely delete files so that they cannot be recovered. The example command here is sdelete-p3c path2 file. In this command, -p3 specifies that the file should be overwritten 3 times. This is to ensure that the data is thoroughly wiped and cannot be retrieved by any data recovery methods. The c-path to file part indicates the file path for the target file you wish to securely delete. Using tools like SDelete helps in maintaining data confidentiality by ensuring that sensitive information is properly erased, thereby preventing unauthorized access or data breaches. It's an essential practice for compliance with data protection regulations and safeguarding organizational data integrity. So we've covered how to securely delete data using SDelete as an example for Windows. Now, let's consider a crucial question. What are some potential risks if data is not securely destroyed? Failing to securely erase data can expose sensitive information to unauthorized access. This can lead to data breaches, identity theft, and various forms of cybercrime. Additionally, organizations may face legal and financial repercussions, including fines and damage to reputation, if they mishandle sensitive data. Understanding these risks highlights the importance of robust data destruction practices in maintaining security and compliance. Secure data destruction is a critical aspect of maintaining security and protecting sensitive information. When data is not securely destroyed, it can lead to significant risks, including data breaches, identity theft, and the unauthorized access to confidential information. Additionally, improperly disposed of data can be recovered and misused by malicious actors. This makes it essential to understand and implement effective methods for securely destroying data to prevent these potential risks and ensure compliance with security standards and regulations.
In this slide, we're summarizing key points from our CompTIA PenTest Plus PT0-003 certification course. This course equips you with essential knowledge and skills in penetration testing, including planning and scoping, information gathering, vulnerability identification, and exploitation. The emphasis has been on practical, hands-on experience to prepare you for real-world scenarios. As part of securing data destruction, we discussed the significance of thorough cleanup and the potential risks of residual data. We also covered the importance of securely preserving any critical artifacts and adhering to best practices for data destruction to maintain security and compliance standards. This summary serves as a recap of the crucial elements we've covered to ensure you're well equipped for the certification exam and practical application in the field of penetration testing.
In this section, we will summarize the key takeaways from the CompTIA PenTest Plus PT0-003 certification course. First, it's crucial to ensure a thorough cleanup after any pen testing activities to minimize residual risks that could pose threats later. Always make it a priority to securely preserve critical artifacts, as they are essential for future reference and audits. Lastly, adhering to best practices for data destruction is vital to protect sensitive information and maintain compliance with regulatory standards. These best practices not only solidify the integrity of your testing process, but also help in maintaining a secure environment.
The process of restoration is as critical as the testing itself to ensure no unintended consequences. This quote emphasizes the importance of thoroughly and carefully performing the restoration phase after penetration testing. It's not just about identifying vulnerabilities and exploiting them. Ensuring that all changes made during the test are properly reverted back to their original states is equally vital. This prevents any potential disruptions or new vulnerabilities from cropping up. By securing artifacts and following best practices for data destruction, we minimize the risk of residual threats and maintain the integrity of the system. Restoration and cleanup must be methodical and comprehensive to avoid any unintended operational impacts.
Now that we've discussed the importance of the restoration process in penetration testing, let's move on to a crucial reflection point. The final question for this module is, what is the most challenging aspect of the cleanup and restoration process for you? This question is designed to make you think critically about the hurdles you may encounter and how to overcome them. Whether it's ensuring thorough data restoration, maintaining system integrity, or avoiding any unintended consequences, identifying your biggest challenge helps you better prepare and refine your approach. Take a moment to reflect on your experiences and consider sharing your thoughts in the course discussion forums. Your insights could provide valuable learning opportunities for your peers as well.
As we summarize our journey through the CompTIA PenTest Plus PT0-003 certification course, let's take a moment to reflect on our core learnings. Throughout this course,
we focused on key areas essential for penetration testing, including planning and scoping, information gathering and vulnerability identification, attacks and exploits, and reporting and communication. The ultimate goal has been to equip you with the necessary skills to identify and remediate vulnerabilities effectively, ensuring robust security for the environments you work on. This comprehensive approach helps you not only to pass the certification exam, but also to develop practical, hands-on skills that you can apply in real-world scenarios. Now, as we step back from this technical deep dive, contemplate on your experiences and challenges during this course. Which aspect of the cleanup and restoration process was the most challenging for you? Understanding these challenges will help you further refine your skills and prepare you for more advanced tasks in your cybersecurity career.
As we conclude our CompTIA PenTest plus PT0-003 certification course, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you for your participation. Your engagement and dedication are truly appreciated. This course aims to equip you with the necessary skills and knowledge to excel in penetration testing and ultimately achieve your certification. Thank you once again, and I look forward to our continued learning journey.
Now, we have reached the end of our course on the CompTIA PenTest Plus PT0-003 certification. I appreciate your dedication and engagement throughout this journey. If you have any questions or would like to share your experiences, please feel free to do so. Let's take this opportunity to discuss any points of confusion or areas where you feel you need more clarification. Your participation will help us learn and grow together. Thank you for your time and effort.
This concludes our CompTIA PenTest Plus PT0-003 certification course. I hope you found the material engaging and informative. If you have any questions or would like to share your personal experiences, please feel free to ask. Your input and interaction are highly encouraged as they enrich the learning experience for everyone. Thank you for your participation, and I wish you success in your certification exam and future endeavors in penetration testing.